teaching hate when he says, I'm not going to let the wolf eat me anymore. If the wolf comes in here, next time he comes in here, I'll do whatever I have to do to keep him off my back. Is the sheep violent or is the wolf violent? He wasn't teaching hate. He was teaching common sense. You know, somebody's knocking you over the head, stop them. Do whatever you have to do to stop them. You know, the ones that were knocking him over the head were afraid of it, of the fact that he might swing back. So they said, no, he's teaching hate. He's violent.
Right. Let's listen to what they got to say in regards to this real quick.
From the widows and elderly. The central claim focuses on the widow, Karen Campbell, who was allegedly requested or coerced to give Pastor Dowell, it's like around $100,000 or something like that, half of her children's inheritance from a house sale. The video claims Dowell has subsequently ignored at least 3 email pleas from Campbell to return the money, which she needs to provide for her children. Additionally, the video suggests Pastor is also misappropriating donations. So that's the nature of these videos that they're putting out, getting a lot of traction. It sounds good, but again, people, like what the word says, is in the mouth of 2 or more witnesses. I mean, we go on and on, but that's what I have there.
You know what's sad?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, we dropped this in the middle of this nice anointed hold fast Wednesdays, right? Good God of mercy, man. And now I have to sit there and embarrass all my enemies. Which I told you. If you looked at my video on Patreon, hey, I done took the stance of Yahshua. I'm not even reviling. Can y'all tell I'm not reviling anymore? Y'all can see that, right? Good mercy. So
now let's keep it real, y'all. Reviling is crazy, right? The reason why you're not reviling any longer is because we didn't clock your T so many times, yo. We didn't expose who you truly are so many times. We'd already then picked you apart. And it's hard for people who have literally broke bread with you, even though you claim that that you haven't had any dinner, any lunch, or anything with myself. You've never broke bread with me, even though you claim that, right? This man, I've never even eaten dinner with this man. I thought that was pretty funny that you say it, because honestly, we've definitely broken bread together many times, right? And was it on a very personal level, intimately? I wouldn't say it was, but I would definitely say that we sat at the same table and we ate from the same plates. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. But that's the reason why he can't just come at us like this, because we've actually broke bread with the individual. He'll come at Geno Jennings. He'll come at Yaki Awakening. He'll come at all these other individuals the way that he feels he wants to, saying whatever he wants. Man, he called Geno Jennings anti-Messiah bitch. Like, he'll come at these individuals however he wants, sideways, up, down, not even. Listen, he will completely and totally decline an opportunity to address a lot of the accusation here on the Warsheep podcast. He will decline it totally and completely. You know why? Because it's not going to be beneficial for his brand, for the way his image is. I promise you, this is nothing but a brand. This is nothing but a business for him, right? And his business is to make merchandise of the saints. And then that is the merchandise. Whatever he can sell to them, whatever he can be able to get and receive in donations. That's the reason why he put an edict out to all of leadership and people who are points of contacts to stop allowing people to fellowship if they are not producing monetarily. If they're not producing monetarily, don't receive them in fellowship. Don't allow them to fellowship, which I think is totally, completely wrong. And you should never force people to pay in order to fellowship. They're giving grudgingly. But this is what he requires of you if you wish to fellowship with his community, with his ministry. And if we honest, right? Because I think we all can be honest with each other. He's not going to be honest with you about that. He's not going to be truthful with you about it. He's going to be very inaccurate. Shalom, Honorable Pastor Rufus, welcome in. Honorable Elder Chris Paul. We got Honorable Odell in this joint. Sister Rose. I'm trying to tell you. Sister Rebecca. Hallelujah. Bless y'all all. Mega. Welcome in, my brother. Welcome in. Good to see you in this thing. Jordan had his own business in the Wisconsin Graceland, but look what happened. Yeah, they swiped that right from under the brother. They forgot about if you don't work, you don't eat. Yeah, and this man effectively does not work, but he will judge you if you don't. All while he's allowing daddy government to feed him, snap benefits, and feed his community. Who is he truly relying on? The Most High, or is he relying on daddy government? Y'all tell me. Because all of that rhetoric about the government and separating yourselves from the government, United States government, it's all fluff. It's all BS. There's nothing tangible about it. He can't even show you the true way to do it if he wanted to, because he himself is fully integrated in the government's intergovernmental system. All while telling you and teaching you that you don't have to go out here and travel the world and enjoy yourself. You should be busy trying to work, and you need to log into a laptop, Google the location you want to go to in the world, Rome, Dominican Republic, Google it, pull up a picture of it, and guess what? You've been there. All while he's taking these lavish vacations in the same locations you wish you could go. What he wants you to do is to be a full-time machine, working, right? And providing for him and his family, right? Providing for him and his communities, providing for him and his ministry, for his foundation, right? These are all businesses. He wants you doing that with opportunities to be able to siphon off whatever you've earned, okay? That's what he wants. He don't want you traveling the world, getting your U.S. passport, being able to go across seas or go wherever you need to go in order to further your endeavors to learn more. A man who's traveled much knows much. He doesn't want you to be on that level with him. He wants you to be subservient. So yeah, he's not going to tell you to go and get your passports and go and travel the world, go see the world, see the sights, come back so you can be able to be equipped with strength, with knowledge, and with power, with authority. He's not going to tell you to have. When's the last time has he had a conversation with you all in regards to autonomy, thinking for yourself, being able to be self-sufficient, right? And be able to make your own decisions for your household and your family, right? How many conversations has he had in training you and making you use your own brain, dissolve your own conflicts in your household, supporting you in those things, right? How many of those conversations are we having? Honestly, tell me the truth. Can somebody tell me? Because my thing is this, right? An individual who wants strong saints, strong sheep, a part of his flock, he's going to want them to be able to think, to be witty, to have a level of understanding. Listen, I don't need to hide. Me, myself, personally, I don't need to hide from anyone, right? Of course, I'm not going to just be out here, because a foolish man will blurt everything out of his mouth, will utter all out of his mouth. A foolish man would do that. But me personally, I know what rags I come from. When you have individuals who don't understand that they come from filthy rags, who want you to view them as being holier than thou, then you have a real issue. You should be concerned. You should be very concerned, right? Dying, he's still reviling. Listen to the end of this video. Yeah, and so he doesn't give it up. He has many attacks that he associates Pastor Rufus with, myself with. When I extend an invitation for Dowell to come on and he completely rejected it, you already know what you're going to get. You're going to get your ass handed to you. You come on the Warsheep Podcast Live. I got some real questions for you. Not none of that pussy shit that, pussyfooting around. They did a topic, running around, beating around the bush. No, I don't have any. I got straight down the middle questions that you would struggle to answer, to be able to hold your persona, to be able to hold some sort of listen. And I don't got to be disrespectful for those questions to get answered. I'll just ask it. See if you can be able to shoot it straight for the people. Or are you going to try to dance around it, tap dance, try to coerce the people through the scriptures to try to manipulate their minds to get them to believe your position, just like you did with this whole trident situation, tap dancing around it, pulling them through the scriptures, right? Trying to force a Nicene doctrine down their throat in order to shine your own light, shine your own position. Why you believe this is not wicked and that it is righteous. You're providing the excuses. That's it. You're providing the excuses. And no one has time to sit here and just hear a bunch of lies.
I'm not lying to you. I ain't got time to lie to you.
We don't have time for that. We don't have time for it. Let's continue, y'all. Let's continue real quick.
The one thing I do remember, though, is this, and I'm using wisdom in this. I remember when all this was going down and we was at a feast day, Pastor Muir was here. Pull up Pastor Muir. He was here. Yeah, he was. He was here. He was here. And Karen and I had already done talk. We already done spoken, right? Before I pull up Pastor Muir up. And so basically, so what do you ask?
Let me tell you guys this, okay? This is not how you address a situation on this magnitude. You guys got to know a situation at this magnitude, on this level, the way that they're addressing it, the way they're approaching it, you got to know that this is completely false. They should have had Karen there. They should have had somebody to help her, represent her, whatever it may be. Everybody should have been present during this conversation, because these are some major accusations of him actually taking advantage of this widow, taking money from her, whatever went down, and actually he confirmed that it actually happened and that he actually did do what he did. But he never dispelled the notion that he asked for this $105,000, that he was the one who pressed for it and she gave it to him reluctantly, okay? In her heart, it was reluctant, but in her actions and her deeds, she still was a part of the ministry. So you're going to behave like you're still a part of this ministry. But the way that it was conducted, the way that they handled this whole situation, completely false, completely wrong. The individual you're speaking about should be present to be able to address the situation, to be able to address the accusations. Anybody who spoke about it should be present. While you're sitting here talking about myself, while you're sitting here talking about Pastor Rufus, who actually was speaking about this particular topic, Pastor Rufus broke the story on the widows. And I'm just reporting on what Pastor Rufus talked about. You understand what I'm saying? And I fully stand with Pastor Rufus and what he brought out. I fully stand with Karen, the widow, how she felt and the way she operated. I'm not dissolving myself. I'm fully in agreement with the situation, how she was coerced into it, and how she was afraid that she would be brought and drugged through the filth if she did not give it over, if she did not hand it to him. That's a bullying tactic, okay? But we all should have been able to talk about this matter. We should have all been able to address some of these things that they're saying and to raise valid points for his listeners, for our viewers as well, for all of the saints to be able to hear the matter totally and completely. That's the best way to do it. The best way to do anything is to handle it not only live, but handle it in real time, okay? To where both parties can be able to address the conflict for the maximum, for the best results. But that tells you when people are doing it the way they're looking to spin the narrative, the spin is in. They're looking to spin the narrative and go and pull it a certain direction because they know they've been hit hard already, because they don't want to stand. They do not want to come live. Michael Israel is the only one who actually made an appearance. He couldn't even handle his own shit. The biscuit down here in the bottom right hand corner, he couldn't even handle his own. Right. Okay, we back. I don't know. It dropped off for a second. All right. So he couldn't handle it, y'all. And you seen how that turned out when he went to the message sent on Brother Nick's channel, and they did this interview, whatever it was, and he could not handle it. He couldn't handle the disagreements. He couldn't handle the volume of disagreements. He got emotional about it, and he stormed off. He rage quitted and clicked the traces off of that channel. Couldn't handle the questioning. If you're coming on somebody else's platform, you got to know that you're going to have people who disagree with your position, and you got to handle those people in the most pragmatic way possible to come with the best results, right? And he wasn't prepared for that. Okay, so that's the reason why he rage quitted during that time. So we know that they can't handle a live conversation. We know that they can't handle people who disagree with their position. We know that they cannot handle the opposition because the one or two individuals they sent, you got the Biscuit, Michael Israel, and you got Pookie over there, right? Pookie over there, Randy. Okay, they sent these two individuals and they couldn't handle themselves. That was the test run. How can we be able to dabble in it? Are they weak? And we've proven ourselves to have strong and valid points, right? Dow relies on other people's money to survive, male and female, even donations, offering from workers, etc. If everyone stopped giving, he and his family will have to go to work. Absolutely. This is the reason why he would move anybody in on his land. That place will be completely empty if he could allow it to be that way. But he needs the individuals that's living on the land to take care of the land, to till the land, to provide meals for him and his family. This is the reason why he was so reluctant to let Sister Zakina go, because she was the one who was doing a lot of that. And if she was going to go anywhere, she needed to go to the Mir household because he wants to be sure to take care of his money bags. But my thing is that these individuals wouldn't be there if they didn't provide that value. If they couldn't provide SNAP EBT, right? If they couldn't provide that to the community, they wouldn't be there. If these things, right, them relying on daddy government, whatever it may be, to be able to be sufficient, to be able to carry the community, they need that. A single mother with children would give them some really good SNAP benefits, right? Especially if she ain't working and stuff like that. That's prime opportunity. You understand what I'm saying? But it's not that they're going to be honest with you about it. It's just that they're going to cover those parts up and make you believe that they're out here grinding, and it's the reason why they're able to provide all of these things. No, you rely on daddy government too. So you absolutely right. They would have no other choice but to pull their own weight if these individuals wouldn't be holding them up. You get what I'm saying? If these individuals was not the foundation. Dow is against food stamps and government aid as much as he's against the 501c3. Absolutely. We know that he's all those things. He uses every bit of that. So how are you going to be independently operating as a community, but you're fully relying on daddy government? Makes no sense, right? Straightway is a complete joke. Yeah, we've been laughing, bro. Mega, yeah, absolutely. And you've been laughing right along with us. The ones who still need to wake up need to come on out of that, because it is a joke, a running joke. Dow is Englishman on his plantation. Shalom, welcome in, Lisa D. Shalom. Mega, I ask for Jordan and his family all the time. Every other person who was brought out, he will go on to be even more successful and prosperous. Creator has promised it. Right. Absolutely. Right. Absolutely. Odell wants them to have, or Dow wants them to have strong backs for labor work, but weak wills and minds. Absolutely. And that's the thing. When somebody is preaching and teaching and telling you not to use autonomy, when they're saying that you need to fall in line and submit or quit, when they're giving you all of these things, suggestions to be able to follow whatever and with whoever and however, listen, you got to understand that this is not a good thing. That this means that literally you're handing over the very thing that makes you perfect in the sight, in the eyes of the Most High. You being able to make a sound choice and decision. He views that as you being perfect because that's how he designed you. He designs you to make your own choice, regardless on what the Father has told you. You can still choose. But this man wants to tell you that you must submit, right? And using various different scriptures in order to justify it. Where these scriptures are telling you, if you go to somebody and ask them for advice and they got greater knowledge than you, then don't waste their time, right? Submit to those who have the rule over you, who have greater knowledge to you, superior knowledge in the area than you do. We are tasked to submit one onto another. But when you go to that person for advice, you need to submit to the advice that's been given to you. Don't waste their time. Don't vex their spirit. Don't do all of those things. Listen to what the person's telling you if you're gonna go to them for advice, right? All right. Let's continue, yo.
Thing she's trying to do. She's trying to say that I've taken money from her and not returned it because children's inheritance. And hold on. That's what she's saying, right? Let's just take it in bits and pieces.
That's not what she's saying, Dow. She's saying that she willingly gave you a donation of $105,000 and she gave it to you willingly, even though in her heart she felt like she shouldn't have, even though she wasn't the one who suggested you should receive it, even though that she did not have it on her spirit to give it to you because you asked for it. She gave it to you to avoid conflict with you, right? And then she soon realized, Dow, just so I can be able to make it plain, she soon realized, right, after seeing a lot of unrighteousness and moves that you've made to where you've received this $105,000 and it didn't turn into $200,000. It didn't turn into $300,000. You didn't multiply that $100,000. You had effectively no plan for it. You took trips, you squandered it, you did whatever you did with it. Now we got a widow who's broke, right? Who's looking for assistance. Let me not say broke because I don't want to offend her, but we got a widow who's hurting, right? Who's lacking, right? We got a widow who's lacking. And now we have Dow effectively who spent the money, who can't return it back, right? Because he did not multiply it. He doesn't have a business mind. He doesn't have a mind that wants to say, I'm going to take this 100K and I'm going to make it 300K, right? I'm going to make it 500K. I'm going to take this 100K and invest it. We don't have a mindset to where we want to multiply it to give back to the community. We have a mindset to take it and do what you will with it, right? To pull a Aleister Crowley move, just to have a good time with it, right? This is what the mindset is, right? But whatever it is, you don't have the funds, you don't have the resources. Whereas to where that was a great opportunity to start up a business. Now, this is what was truly going on, Dow. She is telling you that, of course, she gave it to you. She had to repent for it because it was her children's inheritance that she gave to you reluctantly. Okay. In her heart, she didn't want to give it, but she felt pressured to give it. Okay. That's what she's saying. While we got the biscuit who's saying, shaking his head, yes, no, that was completely, totally false. No, she didn't. That's not what she was saying. But let's continue.
Is that what she's saying, Michael Israel?
Yeah, that's in the video. That's how they try.
No, that's not what she's saying. In the video, that's not what's being said. She said she reluctantly gave it to you, but she gave you the donation. She gave it to you. She did give it to you. Reluctantly. You asked for it. Let's continue.
Trying to spin it out.
Get that file.
So, of course, this is staged. Get that file. Get that file. He already got the file sitting there. So, all of that he just did was staged. Hold on a sec, y'all. Let me go ahead. We're going to get that file. Okay. Mm. Let's get into these comment sections while this thing is thinking about it. I don't know what's going on there, but we're gonna jump to the comments real quick. He had to change the definition. Oh man, I'm lagging a little bit. Okay. He had to change the
In the
definition of
video,
what
that's
a
how they're trying to
widow,
spin it out.
what a widow is because he's a delusional drunk. That's actually a good one. Let's go.
Get that file. Give me that file. Okay. All right. Look. All right.
Never address the fatherless.
Y'all see this? What does that say? Certified.
All right. So this is a certified mail with a return receipt slip. So when you're sending any real correspondence, right, and you want to keep track of that, this gets the postmaster general involved. This is something that can be used in court, right? The return receipt slip, certified mail, that right there is what can be used in court to be able to validate that you gave proper notice. And if you wanted to use in court, you could, right? It's proof that you sent something on that day and at that time. Of course, Karen and I, listen, he's displaying his own address. I'm not the one who's trying to display it. He is willingly displaying his own personal and private information on here. He's given the public permission to identify and use this, right? This is not done privately. This is done publicly. Okay. So we all now have information from this individual because he's fighting so hard to prove or disprove or dispel the notion that this widow is suffering because he took $105,000 from her, by force. So this is how you can easily identify when an individual is desperately doing something, when they're not using their head and they're just throwing information out there publicly that they should never put out there. Which is, your physical address and all this other stuff, correspondence. I believe this might be a P. Well, no, that's his address. So let's continue.
Mail. Y'all seeing it, right? Certified mail.
Mm.
Y'all got that, right? Did y'all get that part? Mike, y'all get the part? Pull the screen down so I make sure you got the part.
Yes, we did.
Okay.
Yep.
Inside that certified mail, bring up the screen again. Look. What does that say right there? What does that say?
It says donation, and which, of course, I don't think that the widow was actually saying that she never gave this money, right? The truth is that you asked for it. It can say donation on the memo all day long, but my thing is that you asked her for it. So this is the pinpoint. This is the point she's making. She's making a point that you requested this donation, that you requested it. She's not trying to say anything outside of that. She's not trying to make it seem like nothing other than that. She's trying to let you know that at the time she gave it to you, but she gave it to you so she can avoid conflict with you, right? Just because it says donation doesn't mean in her heart she meant that. That's what she was sticking to. You understand what I'm saying? We got to be honest, right? And what we're saying and what we're doing. I've been telling everyone the only way to handle this is a natural platform. So-called black people can't trust each other with control of the mute button. Yeah, I mean that's definitely the truth, honestly, because the mute button gives you power and authority to be able to A, B, and C. And you're right. I totally get that. You need a moderator. You need somebody who's going to be a neutral party, is going to let everybody speak the way that they need to speak, or somebody who just understands how to operate on that level. These people don't desire truth. That's why they refuse to face their accusers. Straight chickens. Absolutely. 110%. They'll never come and face anybody. They're going to continue to do what they do, right? And spin the narrative for the people who are still supporting them. You understand what I'm saying? Those people aren't over here trying to get the truth. They're not over here trying to learn more or trying to see what the other side is really disgruntled about. They're not really trying to do it. Apparently, Dowell has to be caught in the back of the tabernacle smoking crack in order for them to be able to do anything about it. That's the only thing they're willing to move on, right? And that's coming from the horse's mouth. But when the widows are being taken advantage of, when people are being coerced to give $105,000 in which he's willingly able to squander it, right, and not multiply it, as Yeshua teaches us we need to do, right? He used a parable to teach us that we need to multiply these talents, to multiply what we have, our gifts, our talents, the resources that's being provided. Do what we can to multiply them, right? That's why effectively, you see me work hard to do it. It's because that's what Yeshua instructed us to do. Whatever we do, if I'm talented at these things, I'm going to do what I can to put forth the effort to multiply those talents and make them a benefit not only for my life, but also others around me who are trusted Israelites, who are trusted Hebrew, who will benefit from this. You understand what I'm saying? Dowell is now offering a sugar baby and a sugar daddy can't make this up. Yeah, sugar baby, sugar bat. Kabir. Absolutely. Barak, please speak on when Dowell boastfully stays a man, have him a million, and he gave 300K back to the man. That's pimping. Bishop Don Juan would blush at. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. Boastfully stays on man, have him gave him, the man gave him a million and he gave back 300K. That's crazy. Absolutely. Gave him a million, he gave him back 300K. Is wild. It's wild. But yeah, y'all see it taking place right here, right now. And we can't listen. My thing is this, right? When we're seeing this and we're seeing how he's spinning it and how he's trying to make it seem or appear as though that this widow was fully compliant to giving him this 105K, all while not empathizing with her position that she felt coerced into doing it to avoid the conflict, avoid the bashing. The same thing that the Church of Scientology does, the same thing that a lot of these religious cults do, is the bash fest. What he's not empathizing with her position at all. He's not trying to even care the slightest bit. He's making excuses as to why he doesn't have to give the fatherless back their inheritance. This is the reasons why. Donations, you ain't getting nothing. Middle finger in the air. You got to understand, this is what you're witnessing right now. He is literally saying F you to this widow and to those children who are fatherless right now. No, you're not getting that back. Literally. And people are going to sit by and listen to him just do it. And still continue in the support. And still continue and saying, yeah, she don't deserve that. It's a donation right there on the memo. But you fail and lack to realize that she said she repented for giving this donation because this was not a donation that was meant for the straight way. It was an inheritance for her fatherless children. And now she's struggling to make ends meet. Right? It's to where this individual is bashing Sakina, not even offering her financial assistance. $2,000 a month to be able to cover all her expenses, which makes absolutely no sense. And the sum and amount is not asking. She's not asking for a hell of a lot of money, but he makes it seem like she's asking for an arm and a leg in order to receive some sort of assistance. So much to the point is to where Sakina herself is like, listen, don't worry about it. I'll make it work on my own. Talk about the women who have to fend for themselves. You understand what I'm saying? Using them for what they're good for, but also when it's time that they need, Don't provide the need. Didn't address anything in regards to people donating money to Sakina, Sister Sakina, and other widows like her to be able to help them be taken care of. No, you donated that to Dowell so he can be able to take his vacations, so he can be able to buy all of these lavish gifts for his wives and for his sons, stuff like that. This is what you're using it for. This is what you sent the money for him to be able to sustain himself in those ways. And I'm just trying to figure out where did all the $105,000 go? Where'd it go? Because it definitely didn't go to building. It didn't go to building more resources to be able to double or triple that amount. Like I said, he's acting and operating like his daddy, like daddy government. They are no good with the money. You see the national debt margins. This individual tells and claims that you can trust him, right? Then why wasn't this $105,000 multiplied and turned and transferred? Why wasn't it our plan, right? To say, let me get that 105K or half of that inheritance from selling that house. And then he had it in his heart to multiply that 105K to devise a plan to build a business or corporation, put this widow's name on that business or corporation that's going to earn more of a profit so she can receive residuals, right? And effectively, this widow is going to be taken care of as long as the business is flourishing, thriving. He's taking that 105K, which is a wonderful start, honestly, by the way, to be able to start a viable business in any industry. You can really launch a really secure, solid business with $105,000 that's going to produce even more for you. And it'll only take about 20K, 30K of that 105 to produce a viable business. There's no reason why straightway after receiving that donation should not have a business office, owning an actual business, right? Viable business that sustains the entire community. I mean, people on the community should be able to live and work with the business only and be able to have opportunities to take vacations when they want, to have premium health care, to be able to have dental, all these other things. If this individual had the pure heart to actually take care of this widow, take care of the communities, take care of all these things, that $105,000 would have went directly to business, starting a business and employing Israel. But yet we got individuals like a Skid Mark Randy who's out here saying, I put money in the Saints pocket. Listen, bro, you're not doing close or nearly enough to make a difference in the world. 105K all in one setting would have definitely had it to where, listen, we could have built something great. That's a great donation to start something great. Put this widow's name on a board, right? So she can receive residuals without even have to be there. She could have used this to start her own business and company. But my thing is that, of course, he's not thinking like that because he doesn't have a business mindset. Dowell doesn't think business. Only type of business he thinks is making merchandise of you, making merchandise of the people. That's his business. He's in the business of being taken care of, to sitting high on a log, on a hog. And I be trying to tell y'all, I've been saying it over and over and over again. Don't be impressed with people who say, oh, freely you give, freely you receive. If they're not willing to use the system for what it's used for, if they're not willing to go and get their resources from these companies and corporations rather than from the saints, if they're out here telling you, hey, I'm preaching the word for free, all while posting their Cash App and PayPal, you need to really, really be evaluating that individual. Because who's truly compensating you? Who's truly paying you for your time? Who do you believe should be doing this for you? Much like these Christian pastors, right? Who send around a collection plate. Yeah, these companies and corporations aren't funding this business or this church. When you see individuals who are not utilizing the system for what it's meant for, these companies and corporations to fund them, to give them what they need to sustain, but they're steady looking at you as the people, right? And trying to get you to donate or give whatever it may be outside of your free will. You got to know that this person right here is not operating out of the fruits of the spirit. They're not operating out of the Most High. They're not doing any of that, but they're looking for you to take care of them and their expenses. And that's it. Because there's no reason why Dowell and his growth as a content creator, because that's what he is. He's a content creator. He has how many? Over 100,000 subscribers. And he's effectively grifting the people. He's not looking to get brand sponsorship deals, whatever it may be. You understand what I'm saying? Or whatever, with his platform, he's looking to gain more subscribers, more followers, so he can be able to have more of an opportunity for them people to donate to his ministry, to his business, to his foundation. Move some of these people on the land, like this older woman who's moved onto the land. She's producing $10,000 a month. Why not accept that old woman? But I'm gonna tell Pastor Rufus, don't accept no old people on your land. They just gonna be a burden for you. You're gonna have to constantly, unless they can produce $10,000 a month. Can somebody please tell me where this makes sense? Where my gunshot at? Where my gunshot at, man? Can somebody please tell me where this makes sense? Why are they making merchandise of you and not having these companies and corporations do what they're supposed to do? Which is, listen, I'm going to have YouTube compensate me, whatever. I'm going to have these people do it. I'm going to build a viable business with this $105,000 and I'm going to put the widow on a board. I'm going to put the widow a part of the business. She's going to be a percentage owner in this business that the saints are going to run and operate. That's enough money right there to start a viable business that's going to produce way more than 105K. You understand what I'm saying? That's more than enough to start it up. And you can put the needs for the community, the needs for all the communities across all your straightway communities. You can put all of those needs on hold. You can pause all of those needs for now until this $105,000 is effective in generating real profit. Hey, y'all, we're going to have to go beans and rice for a while. Because, listen, we're going to be building something that's going to sustain our community plus a couple more. Grind, get to it. And then once it starts producing what it needs to produce, guess what? You off and running. You can come out of that phase of beans and rice. But ain't nobody, but he didn't think about it like that. He thought, let me go to DR. Let me buy Chanel. Let me buy Coach. Let me buy all of this expensive stuff for my wives. Let me get this 2-ton truck with the lift. Let me pour into my mansion overlooking the pond. Which, you know, of course, we know Sugar Baby Kabir is the one who actually is funding a lot of that. But these are the things, the lavish lifestyle, the lifestyle things is what's being poured into, right? And not the business itself. And employing Israel. So why does he not want to employ Israel? Why does he not want to have all of these business being built to employ the Israelites? It's what you need to ask yourself. And my thing is this, right? Why don't you find a lot of this very suspicious?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Why is the $105,000 depleted and not able to be given back to the widow?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Why does this widow have to ask for these funds and these resources back? Why did this widow run out of resources, run out of money when she had over 200K? And they make excuses in saying, well, how fast can $100,000 be spent? Well, listen, if a man who claims to be as righteous as you, if a man who claims to be as responsible as you, if a man who claims to follow the book like you do, then that $105,000 should have been multiplied. Y'all don't find that kind of odd?
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Just trying to really, I got a lot of questions with that. Where's the tax documents? Where did this money go? Can somebody allocate that? But my thing is that you should be transparent when you're receiving a donation of this magnitude with the person who gave the donation. So that way you can be viewed as what? Righteous or reliable or credible in her eyes, at least, to let her be respectable enough to where you're like, listen, we're going to allocate these funds for this reason, right? But they donating to a foundation that does what? Nothing effectively for the people. like the people didn't benefit from this really. Maybe some of the communities did, and maybe you donated some to your buddies, lent it to them so they can be able to start failing projects that fail. But you didn't effectively do anything for the people. And when we point these things out, y'all, you got to understand what their response is going to be every time.
None of it's true. None of it's true. It's BS. They made it up. They lie.
It's going to be always that we're lying to you. I promise you. Even though you can read it for yourself, even though we read it to you verbatim, tell him to come and bring the receipts in regards to where this money went. Where did these funds and resources go? If you can't even tangibly see it being built and refunded back into business. You understand what I'm saying? My goodness. Let's continue with this. Let's hear some more.
Donation.
Pull the screen back down. Mind you, this sister been a widow for a while. Husband been dead for a while. The house of the house they were selling hadn't sold in a while. She was living down there with Brother Gideon and them at that community for a while. Then she moved to Crago in them community, and that didn't last too long because he's wicked as shit. And then she ended up moving to Straightway, Georgia East.
So he said that Elder Crago was wicked as shit, but Elder Crago was the one who turned down the widow's money. The widow was openly willing to give him some funds, some of these proceeds. And he's the one who turned down the widow's money and said, no, you hang on to that. You keep that. And advised her to keep it. That's wicked. That's unrighteous. You're the one who actually requested the money, effectively did nothing productive with the money. And then you come back door and try to make it seem like this widow is not a credible individual because look her everywhere she's moved to. Look where she wasn't able to last. This is how they do you, y'all. This is how a lot of these cults will run you through the muck, will run your name through the filth. They'll try to discredit you. They'll try to prove, oh, you're a liar. And my thing is this, right? Muir is sitting here backing it up. The Biscuit is sitting here backing it up. These individuals are not credible individuals. They are wicked as hell themselves to sit there and listen to this man talk about this woman like he is, to talk about Elder Crago like he is. When they know the character of the man, they know him. They know him for his character. They didn't know him to be a wicked individual. So why are they allowing this narrative to be spun the way that they are spinning it? Even the more so, why wouldn't they defend the character of Elder Crago? I don't care however you feel about Pastor Rufus. Why would you feel the way that you feel about Elder Brent Crago? Because what? He decided to walk away from you because he disagreed with the decisions that you were making. And it seemed like you were completely going against this book, the Father, the Most High. So he didn't want to support that. But y'all going to sit there and allow a man to be slandered openly in open format with no receipts? Please tell me that or why he's wicked. Why is Elder Crago, Brent Crago, wicked to you, Dowell? Why is he wicked? Because he disagreed with your position? Because he stood on truth and integrity and said, listen, all of this BS that you got going on and you're talking about sound like you butt hurt. Sounds like a hurt man. And decided not to stand with that, right? He decided to walk away, and you're now deciding to slander him and openly. This is what it means to slander somebody, right? And to besmirch their name, right? When you have no proof and evidence as to what you're talking about. Where effectively us on this side, we bring receipts all the time. They just gotten started with trying to bring some type of receipts. You can even tell that they're novice in bringing proof and evidence and showing proof and evidence and bringing receipts. They're novice at it. They can't even bring you tangible and viable proof. They're not addressing the true focal points of the issue, the core of the issue. They don't even want to address it. You know why? Because they can be found in their sin to be a liar. If he comes out here and says, I never asked that widow for no money, guess what? There's going to be correspondence that comes out that shows proof and evidence that he's asked the widow for money. Oh, my gunshot. That's why but they give you plenty of half-ass excuses. Come on.
Which straightway provided a 3-bedroom home. Do I need to pull up all the receipts of the money that I gave the people?
Yes. 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 Hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yes. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You need to pull it up. The receipts. You need to pull them.
And say, you know what? I want it all back right now. It's nonsensical. It's crazy. But like I said, I remember going in the house, Pastor Muir coming down, and he had a conversation with her. I didn't hear. He just told me afterwards. So we're going to leave this. Pastor Muir, pull him up.
Yeah. People forget. Okay. The words say, thou shalt not bear false witness. And I'm trying to tell y'all, that's written in the commandments of Yah.
Okay. All while he's sitting there bearing false witness. He just said that Elder Brent Crago was wicked as shit. Well, please. Receipts for how wicked Elder Brent Crago truly is. I need to have some receipts, because all I'm hearing is this man standing on business. I'm hearing a bunch of standing on business. I'm hearing a bunch of integrity. I'm hearing, oh, I didn't touch that widow's money. She even wanted to offer it, coming and giving it out her free will, the abundance of her heart, giving it cheerfully, unlike you, Dowell, where she's giving it grudgingly because you've asked for it. And to avoid the conflict of being called a disingenuous bitch, she decided to give it to you and had to repent later for giving it to you, especially giving it to you grudgingly, especially giving it to you outside of her, out of the will of the Father. The Father didn't place it on her heart to give you half of that. You understand what I'm saying? It was not a clearance for her, but she did it anyway because we have autonomy. We can decide to do and disobey the Most High. We can decide to do that, or we can decide to be obedient. She repented for being disobedient. But you just got them bearing false witness against Brent Crago. What are we doing now? Right? Let's continue. Oh, if it wants to continue. Oh, hold up. For some reason it's slow to response right now. Well, let's jump in the comments section. Let's jump off in here. Let's see what we got. See. He spent that money on vacations and that big motel he's building on the hill. Yeah. They called it a motel. That's wild, right? He's in that big motel that he's building on the hill. And guess what he will effectively do? You understand what I'm saying?
And I would never repent. Never repent.
And never will he repent for that. You understand what I'm saying? He believes that is 100% right. You understand what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we can do that. That's cool. That's great choices in decision making. It's all good. Because why not? But my thing is that while you're doing all of this and you're discrediting individuals because they're disgruntled that you've made these decisions, yeah, you didn't go about it right. Why not own up to it? Accept accountability for your actions and then move on. But effectively, you just making excuses as to why you don't have to be a righteous individual. Why they don't have to be on the level that you claim that you are. You're held at a higher condemnation for a reason, right? I bet there are 100s of more people that has been taken advantage of, but too embarrassed to speak on it. Honestly, there's plenty of people, and I agree with you. Bless you. Welcome in. There's plenty of people who are disgruntled, who have been done wrong by the hands of these individuals, especially this ministry and other cults, right? But they are afraid to speak up because they're going to be drugged through the filth. This person knows a lot about their deliverance testimony. They are afraid to speak up and speak out because they know what mistakes they've made throughout life, and they're going to get blasted for the mistakes they made. They're going to be attacked spiritually, physically, based on their manhood, because maybe they went through some hardships in their marriage or life, whatever it may be. So they're afraid to be attacked in that setting, in that format. Whereas to where they got to learn to be brave and go after it, regardless on what these individuals, these disgruntled POSs is going to say about them, these flying monkeys and all the rest of them who pretend to be on your side, right? Because you got individuals who pretend to be against Straightway, pretend to be against Dowell, all while creating distractions and smoke screens and all these other things to be able to help them, who are double agents, secret agents, to be able to make the people who are trying to shed light on the wickedness, to discredit them, so this ministry can continue to thrive. That's what their goal is. But yeah, this is what you're witnessing. People who are just afraid of it. And honestly, I don't blame them, but I do encourage them to step past that fear and to actually speak up and speak out. You understand what I'm saying? I encourage them to step past that fear. We got bigger things to handle. We got other souls that need to be saved. We not other souls that need assistance to hear the truth. We got to keep Leviticus 5:1. We got to keep Proverbs 8, right? Proverbs 31, 8-9. Speaking up. That's what we got to do, right? Standing up for the workers of iniquity, or standing up against the workers of iniquity. And it is a lot of individuals in life, and some of y'all, you just need to lean on the people with the strength who and the courage to be able to speak on it. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Man, I wonder if this thing gonna want to play for me today. Come on now, continue. Let's continue on. Dowell more is not the next holiday with Nelly and a camera book in his luggage bag. That's right. His pockets are his business and his wife's, so they don't leave him. I can tell you this much: he sure got them 2 young girls pregnant real fast, didn't he? One way that you can be able to hang on to that, get them pregnant. They ain't got no other but to hang in there, stick in there, right? They can't just leave a hard man or somebody who's doing them wrong, even though they see that he may be somebody who's wicked. It's difficult to make certain decisions when you have children by the man, right? Especially when you're a young girl and you're like, shit, I want to change my mind. Nah, you can't necessarily change your mind that quick. You got children by this man. So the first thing he did with them young girls, man, get them pregnant fast. You understand what I'm saying? Poor girls though, otherwise it's a decision that they made. True. Yeah, brother Odell, he be speaking facts. Now living like a politician, other people's money in kickbacks called donations, as well as out of touch with reality. He builds with other people's money and labor. Absolutely. And that's totally facts, but it's like a reality that he's not willing to receive or accept the truth behind, right? Damn, maybe this is hold on, let me try refreshing it. All right, because we're about to be done here in a minute, and we're gonna get into the hot news, man. Hot news of the week. Let's go. So we gotta frame this in another light, right? Can start a lawn care business for under 10K. Yeah, absolutely. There's so many different businesses you can be able to launch 105K to be able to play with. You can literally, like you said, a lawn care business, buy all new equipment, get things rocking and rolling, and get the brothers out there on the move. And that thing will produce more than 6 figures in its first year, right? Get you the money back plus some. There were so many opportunities that could have been taken advantage of that you sought to just squander, right? Please, in just time. Please, in just time. Yeah. Did thou leave? Yeah. In Nellie's purse again? Man, absolutely. Absolutely. Man, listen, I'm not too sure as to why. If the playback doesn't begin shortly, try restarting your device. Yeah, no, you're not going to be going through all of that. Listen, we're going to go ahead. We're going to move on. I got some things we need to frame this in, honestly, tell you the truth. And I want us to really consider a couple things, right? I want us to consider it. Oh, here we go. We back. We'll see. I want us to consider some things. So we're going to dive into the hot news of the week. And we're going to do that very shortly here because I just got a little bit more I wanted to go in. Oh, let's start it over. Man, listen, my bad, y'all. I don't know why this thing is acting like this.
False witness.
Say it again.
Y'all better understand and tread lightly to what you're doing. He just showed y'all a literal receipt and a check on the memo line that says donation. Guess what? I was at the bottom of the hill. And Sister Karen came up and she was highly upset. I'm talking about highly upset.
Wow.
She was highly upset because Elder Rufus was on the internet discussing to the dollar how much money she received from, I think, selling her house, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct.
And she was highly upset about him being all over there on the internet talking about how much this house sold for, how dare he, who he think he is, to be telling people about what money I have. That's dangerous. She was down there talking about how she can even press charges because he's out on the internet talking about her money and putting her name on the internet. Not only that, she also made a statement to me, it's none of his business. She talked about a truck, if I'm not mistaken, and she said, and I gave Pastor Dowell an offering. That is what she told me. She didn't say she was coerced. She didn't say anybody made her. Right. What she said was she gave Pastor Dowell an offering. You see this? You see why you need to hear more than people who are already disgruntled and offended and just want to get out here and try to make. Now think about it. This is how you know you got something that's of Yah and something that's not of Yah. Think about it. How long did it take Pastor Dowell to show what he just showed and me to also be another witness to what she told me? How long did that take? It took probably 5 minutes.
5 minutes at most.
5 minutes at most. Between these two jokers out here broadcasting, I guarantee you got 4 hours.
And they're false witnesses. They weren't even false witnesses.
You see what I'm saying? So they putting everything they can out there and going, and it takes some hours to do it. And here it is. Guess what? Not one of them were eyewitnesses. Not one of them were there. Not one. But they got hours worth of broadcast, slandering and gossip, and half of you dumbasses is out there believing that mess and spreading that mess, and that's why you are being a false witness and partaking in they wicked.
Okay, let's stop it here, y'all. I don't need to be an eyewitness to hear a testimony in regards to how you took an advantage of this woman, Karen, right? This widow. I don't need for you to bring on another individual who is still in your ministry, still being taken care of by one of the men, right? McNabb. I don't need you to bring on this widow and have her provide a testimony based on her experience because she's not going to have much negative to say. She's being taken care of by McNabb. It just is what it is. Nobody needs to be there physically to know it. The person who was involved directly in the situation and matter, she just needs to tell her testimony. She needs to bring forth the information. right? Valid proof and evidence that this has taken place. She's provided multiple different email responses. She's retracted her statements that she's made towards you, Daniel Muir. The statements that she wanted to make in order to garner trust from you all, right? She's retracted those statements and she's approached it in a different light because the Most High has removed the scales from her eyes. And we can be able to hear her testimony and speak on the situation and matter. Does that not make us third-party partials? Third-party partial witnesses, because we hear the testimony, receive the testimony, and we speak on it, right? Somebody who just hears about something, overhears something, and they know the character of the individuals that's being spoken about, they can be able to receive and step into it as a third-party partial witness. We don't need to have eyewitness testimony of the situation in order to be witnesses, right? If we were to take this to a court of law, we've reported on it. Myself and Pastor Rufus has reported on the situation and matter. We can be able to stand and testify to character as character witnesses in the matter, in this situation. They will receive that, right? The judge would allow it. A couple character witnesses to speak on the character of Dowell, right? Who he is, how he operates. So with that being said, yes, we can talk about it. We can report on it. They do it all the time. People need to know about this situation. And then you all need to stand and answer questions as to why it happened, why it took place. You know why? Because you've fancied yourself to be leaders in Israel. That's why you have to answer the questions. That's the reason why you don't have an option. The reason why is because you have self-proclaimed yourself to be leaders in Israel, right? So since that's the case, you need to answer the questions. You need to come up and justify why Dowell has decided to make these moves, to squander $105,000 from this widow, and also to be able to just completely disregard her request to receive that inheritance back for her children. We're going to hit home on this every time because we got women who are disgruntled, who are being taken advantage of, women who have been widowed. Some of those men have lost their life on your land. Some of those men were a part of your ministry, and you've effectively done nothing to accommodate them, to be able to shout them out, to give them a proper send-off, to be even give a proper sermon at their eulogy, at their wake, at their funeral. Didn't even take it upon yourself to catch a flight to this man's funeral and speak at his funeral for him and this widowed woman, but you will step to Karen and ask her for $105,000, half of what the inheritance of what the resources are. Got the nerve to step to her and ask for it. The boldness to it. This is crazy. You can catch a flight for your sugar daddy, sugar baby Kabir, the man who you gave life to, right? Just because he's going through some hardships with his marriage. But you can't catch a flight to speak at a man's funeral, and you're going to take $105,000 from a woman and squander it, not build more businesses and put her name on the business, that way it continue to produce more income or whatever it may be, even an investment strategy, and putting her in the investment strategy as like a beneficiary, like would be great, or her offspring, something, to be able to be sure that she would be taken care of. And it didn't have to be directly by the communities. It could be based on what the communities, what you produced business wise in the world. You understand what I'm saying? These are some of the main reasons why we're having issues. But I'm glad we covered that because we got a couple of other things that we need to go over. We're going to go ahead and land this plane here. Appreciate you guys joining me here for the Warsheep podcast, man. Listen, don't forget to like this video. We need maximum effort, y'all. You understand what I'm saying? We need a maximum effort. Don't forget to like this video. Okay?
Maximum effort.
We need maximum effort.
Maximum effort.
And you hating on me. And if you're here and you're hating on me, feel free. Feel free.
If there's any haters in here right now that don't have nobody to hate on, feel free to hate on me. Sit back there and say my hair ain't luxurious when you know it is, bitch.
Man, like, comment, subscribe, share this with people who need to hear this message, and holler back at your boy. Click that notification bell so you can get all the updates. All right. And we'll see you guys in the next flock. All right. On the way out, man, let's drop some ram and some sheep in the chat for all my righteous alpha men and all my elegant women who's exceptional. Bless y'all. We'll see you guys in the next video. Peace and shalom, shalom.